Someone blamed you for everything you didn't do. Yes, sir. Let me say it louder. For my chosen ones in the back. Listen, family. Someone blamed you for everything you didn't do. I need somebody to drop in the comments and say, you can't blame me. Yes, sir. Make sure you drop in the comments, family, and say, you can't blame me. Now, one of the main reasons of why people blame you for things they know you didn't do, not things they thought you did, not things they are assuming. No, they know for a fact that you did not do it. The reason why, y'all, is because they're trying to hide something. Yeah. And see, the things that they're trying to hide is heinous, wicked, evil, down low. And they know that it's going to tarnish their reputation. It's going to hinder their friendships and relationships. They know it's going to tarnish their character and reputation, right? And the doors that they can possibly walk into, their opportunities. They already know this. So that's why they rather shift the blame onto you. Right? It's almost like a person taking out loans on a car and a mortgage for a house, loans for credit, and the list goes on. But if things don't get paid, they place it in someone else's name. Right? If things don't get paid, then they put it in the next person's name. Ain't that like a win-win? So guess what? I get the money, I get the loan, I get the whatever, right? However, if I don't pay it, I get to put the blame on somebody else. It's a win-win for me. Understand something, y'all. This is their mentality. They want to win regardless. So when things go wrong for them, when things look like it's going belly up, and when people are beginning to pull back that onion and begin to expose, you know what? They say, I won't be getting exposed. I'm going to just shift the blame on you. It's almost like the person who come from a family, of people who treated them like the black sheep. This is how you know you're the black sheep in your family, your job, your relationships, your friendships, your fraternities, all right, groups, whatever the case is, organizations. This is how you know you are the black sheep within that. If people treat you like you are less than or lower than, if people, and you know that you're talented, you know that you're valuable, but they treat you like that, you are the black sheep. If people undermine you, make you feel like your ideas are not bright, try to make you feel like you're dumb, you are the black sheep. If people blame every single thing on you, I mean, you can just breathe the wrong way and he did it, she did it, right? You are the black sheep. When people know that you are a leader, but they still try to act as if you are a follower, you are the black sheep. I need y'all to understand something. They are blaming you for a reason, right? If you are the black sheep, drop in the comments and say, I am the black sheep. Yes, sir. Make sure you drop in the comments, family, and say, I am the black sheep. All right? People naturally don't like you. It's nothing that you can do or bring to the table that's going to put smiles on people's faces, especially if they see you as the black sheep, right? Or even if you were the one who was looked at in the group, in the family, as not being successful and being looked at as a mess up. You are the black sheep. Well, bringing this thing back full circle, y'all, they're going to feel more comfortable with blaming things on you simply because they feel as if you're used to it. They feel as if, you know what, this is going to make sense, right? They're never going to think that it was me anyway. Everybody think that is you. And so, family, whether this is a relationship, family, friends, or whoever, when someone is blaming you for all the things you didn't do, this is because, y'all, they're trying to hide who they are and keep themselves from being exposed and shift the blame onto you because they feel that it's more believable. Point blank, period. But with that being said, family, y'all already know how we do anytime we do a long intro. All right, y'all know something real gonna be said. And yes, family, we are in the famous living room, y'all, right here in front of the legendary great couch. Anytime I am in front of the legendary great couch, something legendary gonna be said. And that's just how they go, y'all. But with that being said, family, let's go ahead and get directly into it. I hope y'all had a great day, a wonderful day. All right, I hope that y'all are having a delightful day, okay? Because your boy finna have a marvelous day after I eat this Chinese food, y'all. Yeah, y'all, we finna have some Chinese food, but not even from where y'all think I'm gonna have it from. I had got the Chinese food that come from the grocery stores, right? I got me some Chinese food, some orange chicken, some seafood rice, and some egg rolls. Oh yeah, y'all, it's about to go down. Y'all drop down below in the comments what y'all about to eat as well. But let's get directly into it, y'all. Leave a thumbs up on this video as well as subscribe to the channel. Yes, sir. Not only that, y'all, but y'all be sure to ring my bell so you can be notified after every single video I post. This is why they blamed you for everything you didn't do, okay? Number one, it was a defense mechanism, all right? It was a defense mechanism. Reno, what do you mean by that? Sometimes when people do things, it don't have anything to do with you. It got everything to do with them. And some people like to defend their insecurities. Some people like to defend their flaws and their misfortunes and mishaps as if they are perfect, when indeed nobody is perfect. We are all imperfect. But some people in their mind feel like they have to be, and they feel like I can do dirt, behind closed doors and underneath, the couches and underneath covers. Won't nobody ever figure it out. And when people start getting close and when people start putting them hints together and start seeing the evidence, this is when they want to take an innocent person like yourself and blame it all on you. Yep. It was him who was cheating. It was her who was cheating. It was him who betrayed. It was her who betrayed, right? They used that as a defense mechanism. Now understand this right here, y'all. That's very similar to the little man syndrome. Yep. Little man syndrome. You may think that Tory Lanez has it, Kevin Hart, CEOs of businesses, people who have a lot of business going for themselves, or they have money, or they got stuff just going on for themselves, but that insecurity cannot fulfill that gap of not being tall or not feeling big enough. So what happens is they use that little man syndrome because that fulfills that gap. It fulfills that insecurity. It fulfills that mishap. It fulfills that spot that's open, right? That open spot. And so what happens is they tend to snap on people for no reason, overcompensate, overly get angry. They're doing this because they have an insecurity, but we're going to call it little man syndrome, or I'm going to act this way to let you know that I ain't the one to be messed with. But really, it's an insecurity problem. Really, it's something that's on the inside of them. That's why they have little man syndrome. And that little man syndrome acts as an defense mechanism for anyone who's taller than me, anybody who got more than me, anybody who, is bigger than me. Little man syndrome. And that goes right back to why they blamed you for everything you didn't do, because that was their defense mechanism. Not little man syndrome, but the defense mechanism was to blame you. I know I did it, but it's going to make me feel like I did not do it if I blame you. And you got a lot of delusional people out here, y'all, who would do something, then manipulate you as if they didn't do it, and then continue doing it while you know that they're doing it. And then they'll go to other people and act like they're not doing it and tell other people that you're the one doing it. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? So the point is, y'all, is that person who blamed you for everything you did not do is simply because, y'all, that was their defense mechanism. And it's sad. Number two, y'all, is going to be this right here. Learned behavior. All right. Learned behavior. Listen, family, learned behavior is real. Okay. Even when a baby is born into poverty, they're not born with a poverty mindset. Right? It's learned. You learn how to be in poverty. You learn the struggle meal. You learn what it's like for the lights to be off. You learn what it's like to do things with a poor mentality. That's why my whole thing is called rich mentality, not being poor. Some people have money, but they're still poor. How does that work, Reno? Because if you are poor in spirit, then I don't care what you got in your bank account, right? You're poor. You want to be rich in all aspects. But sticking to the point, y'all, you have to learn how to be that way. You know, y'all, a lot of people who were born in, money, they act like it. And a lot of times we may say they think they better than other people. They think they all that. Really, they hadn't learned how to be that way. Now, some people are snobbish and some people are just terrible people. But some people who grow up in money and they grew up, watching their parents own things, and they grew up watching their parents be bosses and have employees, they can't help but they learn. I learned how to be a boss, right? Like, I learned how to be an entrepreneur. I learned how to have my own. Learned behavior is real. You take the person who grew up in poverty, they're going to learn the poverty mindset. And this is why we say break generational curses. No different from a dysfunctional family. You take a dysfunctional family, you're learning how not to be dysfunctional. You're learning how to be functional. So learned behavior is real. Taking this thing back full circle. Someone blamed you for everything you did not do because that was learned behavior. All they know how to do is blame somebody else. All they learn how to do is say it was somebody else's fault. All they know how to do is take the accountability off of them and make somebody else have that accountability that they were supposed to be taking. Make sense of what I'm saying, y'all? Drop in the comments and let me know. Number 3, it's easier to point the finger. It's easier to point the finger. All right? Somebody drop in the comments and say it's easy, ain't it? Yes, sir. Make sure you drop in the comments, family, and say it's easy, ain't it? See, family, what I mean by easy to point the finger, it's going to always be easy to do this to somebody else. To literally point and look at somebody else and talk about them and say what they're supposed to do and what they're not supposed to be doing. You can always teach, but can you learn? You can always tell, but can you listen? You can always, talk, but can you do? And so the biggest thing I learned in life, y'all, is that actions speak louder than words. It does. It's always easier to point the finger and boss a person around, but can you lead a person? You know why I say can you lead? Because lead still requires you to do some type of work. Leading still requires you to be hands-on. One thing I learned on the job, y'all, is that those managers and supervisors, they're not leaders, they're bosses. And I'm not talking about the boss who got $1 billion, $1 million, who makes 6 figures, who's doing great in life. I'm not talking about them. Money don't make you a boss. The mentality does. Or, I'm sorry, y'all, money don't make you a leader. The mentality does, right? So when you go back on those jobs and you think, they just bossing people around. You ever had the manager who tell you to do something, hey, do this, do that, do this, and they never get their hands dirty? They never, get out there and lift their sleeves up. They always telling you what you need to do. It's easier to point the finger, right? When I was playing football, the coaches I loved the most and liked the most were the ones who would get out there and lead by example. Not the ones who just sitting back eating a cheeseburger saying, hey, by the way, make sure you go over there and go over there and hit them like that and do it like this. No, bro, I don't want to see that nor hear that. I want to see you put the work in just like us. Because when you lead by example, that lets us know that it's not easier to just point the finger for you, right? It's easier to do. That way you get people to follow your lead. Rena, what are you saying right now? Bringing this thing back around full circle. Someone blamed you for everything you did not do. You know why? Because it's easier to point the finger at somebody else because guess what? I don't got to sweep off on my front porch, but I can tell you how to sweep off on your front porch. I don't got to wash my car, even though it's dirty, but I can tell you how yours got mud on it. It's easier to point the finger, right? Number 4, y'all, someone blames you also because you are the scapegoat, all right? You are the scapegoat. Now, we talked about this a little bit, y'all. Being the scapegoat is the person who's like the black sheep. Everybody always blame things on them. everybody automatically assume it is them. Everybody automatically say, hey, you know what? We just gonna pin it on them. It's like you are the fall guy, right? It's a movie on Amazon Prime. It's called The Fall Guy. And it's like basically all of the accountability, all of the moves and the events and the missions, he got to take them. He's the one who got to do he got to be the fall guy. And so that's how this operates, y'all. When you are the scapegoat, you're like the fall guy. You know, you're the person who they say, hey, man, I'm going to put this on you, man. But, you know, I'll give you $10,000 when you get out after 10 years. You know, hey, man, I'm going to put this on you, but I'll give you $50,000 after you do 50 years. You're like, man, I don't want $50,000. $50,000 does not equate to 50 years. You tripping, bro. Somebody drop that down below in the comments. You tripping. Right? Make sure you drop in the comments, family, and say you tripping. But the point is, y'all, is that when you are the scapegoat, you're like the fall guy. Everybody is going to blame you for everything you didn't do. And the sad reality, y'all, is some people is going to actually believe it because they're used to seeing you in the principal's office. They're used to seeing you get a whooping. They're used to seeing you, get caught. They're used to seeing you in and out in jail. They're used to seeing you. This is what it looks like when you are the scapegoat. Not realizing that you changed your life around. Not realizing that you are making different and better decisions. Not realizing that you're not who you used to be. Make sense of what I'm saying, y'all? Drop in the comments and let me know. This is why they blamed you for everything you did not do, because you were the scapegoat. All right. Number 5, y'all, it's going to be this right here, family. Your own acceptance. Yes, sir. Your own acceptance. Now, this right here is a hard pill to swallow. It's a little bit of accountability, right? A little bit of accountability, but also it just shows how we can be loyal to a fault, right? So when I say your own acceptance, I mean this. The things they blamed you for, all the things you did not do, it's because they knew that you would not tell. They knew that you was no snitch. They knew you wasn't a rat. They knew that you didn't care about what other people thought. They knew that you were not the type of person who would sell them out, the type of person who would give them away. They knew that. So this is why they kept blaming you for everything you did not do, because you kept your mouth closed, right? And I always love to say this, y'all, closed mouths don't get fed. Sometimes you have to open up your mouth to defend your honor. Sometimes you have to open up your mouth to defend your reputation, because a lot of times people are trying to assassinate your character. That's what they're trying to do. So your own acceptance. If you think about a person who, did time for a person in prison, maybe he did 15 years, 25 years, maybe she did 5 years, 10 years, or even they're currently serving life consecutively. Well, understand this right here, y'all. It was their own acceptance. Acceptance of what, Reno? Acceptance of I'm not going to be able to see my kids. Acceptance of I'm not going to be able to see my mom. No more holidays, right? No more friends. Not my wife, not my husband. Acceptance of I'm going to be loyal to the game. That's why I love when Charleston White say, I'm going to tell. Yeah, I'm going to tell. Somebody may say, well, Reno, you a snitch. You just like Charleston White. Call me what you want. But what I will say is that ain't no way I would ever serve time for a person who don't love me, who don't like me, who won't do the same for me, who ain't going to take care of my family. And the list goes on, right? Why would I be loyal to a game that ain't loyal to nobody? I never understood that logic, y'all. I never did. But the point is not even that. The point is that when you accept certain things, people say, hey, he ain't going to say nothing. Let's put the blame on him. Hey, she ain't going to say nothing. Let's put the blame on her. You ever seen a person in a relationship? They know they was cheating. They know they did wrong. But they kept telling everybody else that, oh, yeah, the reason why we ain't together is because, this is what they did. The reason why things ain't work out is because, this is what happened. Whole time you find out that this person over here was just a mute. They were silent. They ain't even say nothing. They allowed people to think whatever they wanted to think. And what happened is that people began to believe it because they did not defend their honor. Imagine if Jay-Z would have never spoken out, even though it has been proven that he did not do it. But just think about it. If he never spoke out, it must be true, Jay-Z. That's the hypocrisy and the ignorance in our community. If he ain't saying nothing, then it must be true. No, some people just say, you know what, I don't care what y'all think. Y'all can blame me. Y'all can do whatever. Not realizing that sometimes that's the worst thing you can do is not say nothing. Always defend your honor. Somebody drop that down below in the comments. Defend your honor. Yes, sir. Make sure you drop in the comments, family, and say defend your honor, all right? But, family, I'm not going to hold y'all up. I just want y'all to know someone blamed you for everything you didn't do. And understand that, all right? Family, I need y'all to do something for me. Make sure you go over to the Rich Mentality Academy. Y'all be sure to join the membership. Go meet your tribe. Y'all be sure to book a one-on-one session with your boy. Check out any one of those books. And, of course, y'all be sure to get you a Yes Sir t-shirt. But I'm going to catch y'all in the next video. Keep a rich mentality. Peace.